Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my continuation of my book reading of The Whispering Nights. And we're at the last chapter, chapter 10, Back to the Village. By the time they reached Miss Applewhite's garden, the sun was shining brightly again, and the valley was coming to life after the storm. They knocked at her front door, and when she opened it, she looked hard at them for a moment. Then she said, "I can see that you have been a long way. But I'm very pleased to see you. Come in and have some tea." They followed her into the kitchen, where there were plates of cakes and bread and butter already. Susie asked, almost accusingly, "Were you expecting us?" "I was hoping to see you, shall we say." "Did you get very wet during that annoying thunderstorm?" "Miss Applewhite," said Martha seriously, "have you been up the hill today? At the Hamden Stones?" Miss Applewhite's expression did not change, but there was a rather distant look in her eyes. "Stones? Ah, yes. A very pleasant place. But I'm too old to climb the hill these days. I haven't been there for a long time." "How long?" asked Martha. "Not for a very, very long time," said Miss Applewhite, and added quickly, "No more questions now. Sit down and have some tea." The children realized that it must be early afternoon, and they ate. They told her the whole story. When they had finished, she sat back and said with a smile, "You have done wonderfully well. Your work is over." "We didn't really do it alone," said William. "The Stones won the battle against her and sent her away." "But you made it possible. You helped them." Martha thought, "We brought Morgan here with our witch brew in the barn, but perhaps that was a good thing. Perhaps the Stones were waiting for her. Or Miss Applewhite was." She stared at Miss Applewhite's old, lined face and tried to recognize the strange figure they had seen inside the stone circle, but it was too difficult. She decided not to think about it anymore. Susie was thinking about something else. "What do you think will happen now about the motorway to the village?" "I think," said Miss Applewhite, "that we will very soon hear of a change in the plans. You should not worry about it." "Nobody will ever know that it was us who stopped it," said William, a little sadly. "Never mind. You will always know. And I shall too." "Will she ever come back?" asked Martha. "Not in our time, my dear. One day she will, of course. She lives at different levels of time from you, from us. She is not as strong as she was and cannot learn anything new now. That is why she goes on using the same spells and the same weapons." A shadow on the wall, a touch of ice, a scream in the wind, a horse's hot breath. Martha remembered and looked gratefully around the warm, untidy kitchen. "When was she last here?" asked Susie suddenly. "Oh, let me see. A couple 100 years ago, if I remember correctly. And of course, she was here in the 17th century. I must tell you about that sometime, but now I really think you should go home. Your poor parents must be very worried about you." They finished their meal and said goodbye to Miss Applewhite. She stood at her front door, a small, bent figure in her long dress and large summer hat, waving to them as they walked away. They realized how much they all liked her. "Just think," said William. "We'll be able to go up to the barn tomorrow and play there, just like before all of this began." Martha said, "My mom be angry with me when she sees me. My dress is all dirty." "So is mine," said Susie. "But I don't care. If our parents are angry with us, that's nothing when you think what happened to us today." What a pity that we can't tell anyone about this, said William. They'll laugh at us if we did. When they came to the village shop, they noticed people standing in groups, staring towards the river. Suddenly, Miss Poulter, who was talking excitedly to a circle of neighbors, saw the children and called out angrily, "You are a bad girl, Susie. I've been so worried about you. Where have you been all day? Not back for lunch, and not a word to anyone. And you were out in that terrible storm." "Sorry, Mom," said Susie. "I really am sorry. But what's everyone looking at?" Miss Poulter's eyes shone with interest, and she no longer looked cross. "There's been a serious accident. You know the big rolls that belongs to Mr. Steele? Someone's driving it right across the field and into the river. Someone driven it right across the field and into the river." "Oh dear," said William in an unnatural voice. "Why would anybody do that?" "Nobody seemed to know. The police think it was stolen. They're looking in the river now for dead bodies." "They won't find any," said Susie calmly. "What do you know about it, miss?" asked her mother. "Oh, nothing really," said Susie quickly. "Just look at your hair and your dress. Now come straight along with me, young lady, and get changed. And you two better go home as well." The following morning, the people of Steeplehampton watched with interest as the rolls was lifted out of the river and put on the lorry. It was taken away to Chipping Ledbury. No bodies were found in the river. I was right, wasn't I?" said Susie, but not loud enough for her mother to hear. That afternoon, William's father came home, waving the local newspaper excitedly. "Would you believe it? They're going to build that motorway on Mr. Steele's land after all. He's going to close down the factory and sell it." William had been expecting this, but he said kindly, "It must be because of your petition, Dad." "Do you really think so?" "I wonder. It would be nice to feel that we had something to do with it." "I'm sure you did that. You and the whole village made Mr. Steele change his plans. It's fantastic." His father smiled happily as William began to read the newspaper. On the front page, next to a photo of the village, it said, "New motorway. The people of Steeplehampton will be relieved to hear that the new M10 motorway will probably not go through their village. Last night, Mr. Steele, owner of the Steele Brothers factory at Chipping Ledbury, said that he was planning to close it down, as he wanted to leave the country immediately. It appears that yesterday afternoon his wife suddenly decided to go abroad, and her husband wishes to join her. It is possible that Mr. and Mrs. Steele will not return to England. Mrs. Steele will, therefore, almost certainly agree to sell the factory, and so the new M10 will go south near Chipping Ledbury, across his land. The beautiful village of Steeplehampton and the Sharnbrook Valley will be safe for our children to enjoy for many more years." William went out to find Susie and Martha. It was a fine, clear August morning, and the countryside looked clean and shining after the rain. People in the village were busily doing their usual jobs, and everything looked completely normal again. Susie came out of her mother's shop when she saw him, and Martha joined them a few minutes later. "My mom's so proud of herself," said Susie crossly. "She thinks the village had been saved just because of the petition that everybody signed. Can you believe it?" "It doesn't really matter," said Martha. "Not really." "Well, I could tell her who really saved the village from the motorway." "You mustn't," said William. "I know," said Susie, but calmly. "I suppose it isn't so bad, knowing something that nobody else knows. It makes you feel good, doesn't it?" "Shall we go to the barn?" suggested William. "Not yet," said Martha. "First, let's go, I know, to the Stones." "Yes," said Susie. "That's what I was thinking too. Just to see they're all right. It will show how," she searched for the right words, "how grateful we are." Slowly they began to climb the hill. Clouds, shadows moved across the corn in front of them, and between the shadows rang the freight line of an old road. And that was the end of The Whispering Nights. I really enjoyed this book. I think it was very well written. I really loved the story. It was easy to follow the characters, the story overall, and yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Yeah, let me know what you guys thought of it, and yeah, leave some comments. And yeah, sure to give it a like if you enjoyed this book reading, or a dislike if you didn't enjoy it at all. Subscribe or don't subscribe, the whole shebang. You know what to do. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you in the next book reading. Thank you so much. Bye bye.